Hey guys, beautiful day here at Red Hen Racing. We got a big race day coming up and we got a bunch of maintenance to do on all of the vehicles. Pretty much everything needs something. And Alex is here.
Oh, my hair is messed up.
And we need haircuts. But it's okay, you love us anyway. Miata's getting a bunch of brake stuffs. CRZ is getting a bunch of brake stuffs. And the GTI is getting aligned. Soon it'll be back. We got some neat conversions to do on it to make it a little more competitive this next race day and a little more convenient in general. It's gonna be a good day, and I'm glad you're here for it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. I'm Gavin. That's Alex. You're watching Red Hen Racing. Like it or not, you're here.
Gotcha, bitch.
So let's see. What all are we doing in the Miata? Oh, it's got a new air filter. We're gonna be trying something new there. New rotors, new pads, and a little flushy flush. It's been a solid, 40,000 miles that I've been on this little big brake kit. I haven't changed literally anything after like a full season of autocross and a bunch of daily driving and a few hard track days. Hey, brakes get hot.
Your brakes are stinky.
Oh, motherfucker's warm. We're on these Willwoods now, which are great for autocross. They're getting fucking cooked out here. We got some catching up to do. The CRZ, it needs an oil change, which we're gonna do the thing that makes it easier for future oil changes. And then it needs brakes as well. And it's getting a big brake kit, kind of. And it's gonna get a little flushy as well, because that thing has 200,000 miles on it and is probably on the original fucking brake fluid. I don't know, who knows? We'll see what comes out of it. Maybe something funny will happen. And the GTI is getting aligned, a stud conversion. Fuck you. And it's getting new tires. Maybe he'll be able to hang with me next weekend.
Maybe.
Just maybe. Yeah. That about sums it up. Let's get to it. Hey, does that sound really bad?
I can hear it.
That sounds really bad. Let's make that not sound awful. We'll get it up in the air, get the wheels off, and then we'll show you what we're working with.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
It looks like somebody's been taking this thing to a rally.
We wouldn't do that. No, cars are supposed to be babied. You wouldn't want to scratch the paint, Alex. So we're gonna start with the easiest thing, get this air filter out of here. It's probably the original one because I haven't changed it since I took ownership at 19,000 miles and it's at 80,000 now. So let's see what that looks like. Hey, this looks like shit. It's certainly got some miles on it. Why is it full of rocks? Somebody took this thing on a rally. And the gasket was pinched here, so I don't know. Yeah, that's probably why it's not very fast. I should have been going faster, but I was losing some of my intake there. I've never run a K&N filter before, but we're gonna try that. Where's it? There are no good aftermarket options for intakes on these cars. They all notoriously lose power, actually. The stock intake on these is exactly what it needs to be, and it's pretty well documented. I might try an aftermarket intake eventually, but for now, we're gonna try a K&N just because I never have before, and I'm assuming that it's gonna be, why is it so fucking greasy? Oh, they're supposed to do that, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna install my air filter. Mechanic. Hardest install of the day. Done. Oh, it came with stickers. Hell yeah. We fucks with stickers around here. All right, that's all done. So let's take a look at these brakes. Oh, I gotta mark it off the list. Why bother making a list if you're not gonna... And we didn't label it properly. Air filter, done. Sat. That was one line item that took 3 minutes. This other line item will take like 3 minutes. Easy day. Hey, these rotors are trashed. I'm not easy on brakes. These have had a hard life. These are probably the original pads that came with the Flying Miata Willwood little big brake kit. Fuck, that's a lot of words. I don't know exactly which pads they are, the BP10s, BP20s, something like that. I'm sure we'll see a part number once we get them off. But I ain't mad at them. They lasted a long time through a lot of hard use, and they work pretty damn well.
Look how thin that is. rotors.
Yeah, we've run them a little thin. This is... I don't think rotors are supposed to do that. It's fine, it's got a few feet left in it. I wouldn't put miles on it.
It'll take you all the way to the junkyard.
It'll take you all the way to the scene of the accident. We're trying something new. This is a rear one. These were on sale like really cheap, and we're gonna see if there's a reason that they were really cheap. Let the record show that we're putting these on at 80,000 miles. And the reason that I want to go ahead and display some skepticism is because there's a big, what do you call it? When people get a bad vibe about a thing. There's
like bad juju.
A lot of people talk shit about them tending to crack between the drills and stuff like that. I think I ran a set of drilled and slotted on the S2K like one time, but never had any problems out of them that I recall.
If that pulled up outside your house, you'd think, oh no, a drug dealer is here.
I don't know, that was in another life. We're gonna see. So we're throwing these on at 80,000 miles. We'll see what kind of life we get out of them and if we have any issues. And for pads, these Wilwood brakes have a very specific pad shape. You don't just buy Miata brake pads, you have to buy Wilwood shaped brake pads. And EBC happens to make stuff in that pad shape. And we like EBCs. We're gonna be running Yellow Stuffs. Yellow Stuffs is just about the highest end pad that they make. The Blue Stuffs are a little more track oriented. I think these are the most reasonable for something you want to be able to be competitive, but still is also a daily driver. So we're also gonna see how these do and what kind of life we get out of them. We've run a bunch of red stuffs and green stuffs before on daily drivers that didn't see competition and was always really happy with them. So we're gonna go a little more aggressive and try the Yellow Stuffs. Let's get all this shit apart. Come off. There we go. Ugh. See, the back side of it was fine, so it still has like half its life left. I think there was a reason this was making noise. These pads are supposed to be pretty easy to remove. You just pop these clippies. Boop. And there's the pad. It's meant to be able to change them easy without removing the caliper, but we had to anyway to get the rotors out. And oh my god, don't act like your brakes are any better. I guarantee you sat next to an Altima at the light today that had worse brakes than this. So the other one is fine, so you know.
I think that's why one of your rotors is fucked.
Yeah, maybe it could be relevant. It could have something to do with it. Easy swap though, as long as it's not hard to recompress these Wilwood pistons. I guess I've never had to do it before, so I don't know if it's gonna be a pain in the ass to compress those.
Get a big ass pair of channel locks.
Big ol' C-clamp, I bet. I bet a C-clamp will do it. I have a C-clamp that's stronger than that piston, I guarantee it. Yeah, let's get these swarped out real quick. I'm gonna wire brush these studs just to make sure that they stay happy and slap this thing back together. How's the rear going?
It's stuck.
What, the rotor? Did you ask it nicely?
Tried.
Let me go get a bigger asker for you. Don't look at those yet. Hey, for when you need to ask real nice. Here you go.
Jeez. Yeah, I got it.
Perfect. Fronts are done, going really smooth. These Wilwood calipers make it super easy to change pads. Not having to deal with a bunch of little clippies and shit is nice. Yeah. If you needed to just be able to change pads for like a race weekend and stuff, being able to just pop them and change the pads in and out, super easy with these calipers. I haven't even touched my side yet, but he's doing a good job on his side. So I'm gonna get caught up with him. Just used this vacuum pump to suck all of the fluid out of the master cylinder, or out of the reservoir, whatever, fuck you. Now we're gonna fill it up with fresh fluid and then go around to every corner and drain, bleed it until the new fresh fluid is coming through. And that'll get all of this shit completely out of the system.
making a mess.
I've never made a mess in my entire life.
You're getting it on the paint.
The paint! That's what was in there. Gross. Why's it got pulp? The stuff that came out of the front right one is really gross. We'll see if the same kind of stuff comes out of this one. These needed flushed bad. Ew. Yeah. This one's not as bad. The stuff that came out of the front right one was like rust colored. It had like a purplish red tinge to it. So yeah, this is the last one. They're all fully flushed and bled and we're good to go. Wheels are on. I'm gonna read the directions on how to bed these things in.
You actually read those directions?
I can read a direction, you don't know. I know how to read. Drive carefully for the first 50 miles. During early use, it's quite normal for some brake noise to be observed. After approximately 200 miles of urban use, commence the final bed in of the pads by decelerating from 60 to 20 at least 5 times. That's after 200 miles, which is my drive to work tomorrow, so we'll properly bed them in doing that few hard stops maneuver after my drive to work tomorrow. Let's take them around the block and see if they actually make a bunch of stupid noise or something. I'm just glad this vacuum bleeder actually finally was good for something. I've never used it for anything. They're not dragging at all like I thought they would, because it was like really tight getting the calipers back on with the new pads. They look good and they seem to be grabbing like they should, and they're not even making the noise that it warned they might, so I guess we did that. Probably should put the top back up since it's like rainy and stupid and stuff. And we can mark that off the list now. Congratulations, we done it. GTI is still not back from the alignment shop, so I guess we move on to the CRZ. Don't worry about that noise. We're doing brakes today. We're not dropping a transmission again today. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are these nerds doing? What's this nerd doing? While he's yoinking these wheels off of here, I'll show you what the CRZ's getting. Ah, yes. Oh, why does that look like an old crusty caliper? Because it is. It's off of an RSX Type S, which is a big brake upgrade for this thing. I think the calipers are pretty same, but can use bigger pads. And the rotor is significantly bigger. When we get one of them off, I'll show you one of the new rotors. That was a pain in the ass. And if you put those screws back in to the rotors that hold the rotors to the hub, so I have to get my impact screwdriver out to beat those screws off that don't do anything and that you don't need to put back in there, I hope you stub your toe. So here's the rotor that came off of it. And there's the new one. It's a rather observable difference. OEM big brake kit. And all we should have to do in order to fit that bigger rotor is a little bit of trimming slash bending of the dust shield that doesn't do anything anyway. Race car, it can do without that. Ugh. Same hub size. The new calipers off the RSX will bolt right up. Theoretically, we haven't verified yet, obviously, but they should. Got the rotor fitted up on here and a couple of lugs run onto it. It actually doesn't seem to be touching anything. I mean, it's closer than it was before, obviously, but it's not anywhere near touching. I don't think we need to adjust it at all. And you can see it sticks up like way past the dust shield. Definitely bigger than it was. We don't have any clearance issues at all. So I guess carry on with mounting up the caliper. We've never really talked much about it, but you guys have seen us use a bunch of Chemical Guys products around here before. Really proud to say that they finally partnered with us. So whether you already use and love their products, or if you want to give one a shot, I recommend this quick detailer. Pretty great, it smells good for some reason. Use our link in the description and it helps support the channel. Didn't have to trim the backing plate, dust shield, whatever. Didn't have to adjust it literally at all, and the caliper bolted right up. So we now have RSX Type S front brakes with yellow stuff pads. Now we get to play with the lines. Biggest difference that you can make, I found makes even a bigger difference than the pads themselves, is stainless lines. We really like to use StopTech stainless lines. Hey, can you focus please? We've used them a bunch of times and they're always a good move. So it's gonna be getting stainless lines all around. And because of who I am as a person, we ordered the wrong yellow stuffs for the rear. Isn't that cool? So I'm gonna take that as a sign from any various gods of your choice that we should also do rotors, because the rotors in the back are pretty trashed. But we've got good progress here. Big brakes, line, all done on the front. In the rear, since I ordered the wrong pads, we just went ahead and swapped the stainless line on. So when we do order the right pads and new rotors, it'll be just a matter of swapping those. We won't have to like re-bleed the brakes and all that shit. The line will already be done. So now we get to do the other side of the car, which is mostly the same. What? Alex did us a favor when he removed all of the lugs, and he, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I don't blame the lugs. I really like these lugs, and we've used them for a long time with no problems. It did shear because it was over torqued as fuck. We put a huge breaker bar on it to try to get this lug loose, and I don't know how or when, but it was over torqued as hell. It just completely sheared off. So I get to drill out this stud and replace it. We've already got a replacement stud. It's a Honda. The studs are basically free. So we've got to drill out this stud and replace it in order to do all of the same thing that we've already done on that side. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fine. We've got good fresh drill bits, and I don't know how hard studs are to drill, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's probably not gonna take forever.
Many minutes later.
Jesus Christ. That took so long that the sun is out again. The wheel just budged, and I don't know if I drilled too far and like into the wheel or something. Ooh, that's warm. Oh man. Like, nailed it. Perfectly centered, drilled the stud right out of the broken lug. Fucking nailed it. The lug seat of the wheel, didn't even touch it. Like nothing ever happened, except that we have to replace that stud there.
You're welcome.
The inside of her tires are not really wearing like at all. This thing needs camber. Bad. This is after only one autocross weekend. So you can see this outside shoulder is getting eat up, and the inside is like not even touched. Like that's literally new rubber with the nipples still on it right there. So that's an easy way to tell that your car wants more camber, but it's not really adjustable as it is. It's gonna have to wait until it gets a suspension makeover, which may wait until after it gets a transmission makeover. Sometimes we prioritize things. We'll see what happens. Let's get this shit rigged up. I was able to reach the drain plug from right here. Gonna go ahead and get that engine oil draining, and we're not putting that stupid plug back in because plugs are dumb. Plugs are for butts.
Stop saying shit like that. It's unprofessional.
So we like to have fun here. We like to use these Fumoto drain valves. So every time you go to change your oil, instead of having to fuck with the plug, get a little, basically a little ball valve petcock. Flip it over and drain it, and then boom, pop it back into a locked position. Pretty great. Used them on several cars now. Anything that makes the little things just a little bit easier is nice. So this will go back in there, and we'll top it off with oil. And oh, it's time to flush this now. We got a lot of bleeding to do with all new lines. It's gonna take a minute to bleed these and get fresh fluid running all through it. You ready to pump the brakes?
Am I ever?
It's gonna be fun. He's a good brake pumper. He's really good at that.
5 hours later.
Hey, there was some gross stuff that came out of these RSX calipers. All of the black stuff came out of these RSX calipers. Pretty fucking gross.
Am I still supposed to be holding?
No.
Oh.
No, you're done.
Oh, I can't. My leg was starting to hurt.
Well, we can slap the wheels back on and take it for a test drive, see how this shit feels. I sure hope the transmission doesn't make any angry noises at us. It's probably fine. Hey, these brakes work really well though. I would show you, but there's a motorcycle behind us and I don't want to do the funny thing. All right, that stops pretty damn good now. Oh, I forgot to turn the lights off. That's a thing we can mark off the list. And Alex is pulling the GTI in. You got the tag light out, nerd.
CRZ.
CRZ done. Good job. GTI. It got aligned. Mark that off. Now it needs a stud converter.
Alright, so we got a stud conversion kit for the GTI because it's running a lug bolt and Gavin doesn't like that.
It's really fucking annoying. As much as we change wheels around here, it's really fucking annoying dealing with these bolts. If you're not familiar, Audi and VW, they use lug bolts instead of studs with a nut. Lining up the holes is a vague pain in the ass. So we're gonna swap it. So we got new studs that are gonna get thread locked in and a set of new lugs to go with them. Neat, let's get to it. This is what the hub face looks like on these. It's just a bunch of holes, and only some of them are the threaded ones that you want. And that's about dumb as hell. So when you go to put a wheel on, especially one that's not hub-centric, you can just go fuck yourself. We got some studs.
You are a stud.
Oh my God. You heard it here first, folks. I'm getting catcalled in my own garage. What was the torque spec on them?
2 Ugga Duggas.
No. So we got a socket that's actually the same as this Allen that's in the end of those. So we can actually like properly torque it. What was the torque spec on them?
I don't know.
Something said it.
I said it. 2 Ugga Duggas.
Anyways, we're gonna read the manual and torque them properly.
You say that now, but by the time you get to that 4th one,
Hey, those are really long. I mean, probably much bigger than average, honestly. We went with the extended boys so that can run any amount of spacer you ever want to. Not intending to run any spacer, but it's nice to have that option in the future if you wanted. So these just get a little bit of Loctite put on them and they just thread right in. Were you still going in a star pattern, doing them? Just out of habit?
Out of habit.
Check back in a minute when all of these are converted and we're putting new wheels on the ground. Okay, those are kind of thick on there. Alex is running in SM this season, which has no treadwear requirements. He could run DOT racing slicks if he wanted.
I didn't feel the need to ball that hard.
Same, honestly. Like these yokes are more than enough to completely outdo any amount of driver skill that either of us have. There's no need to go to straight Hoosiers and just waste a bunch of money on skill that we don't have. These are the maximum size allowable on this car though. These are a 17 by 9 running a 245/40. Should be pretty nice and sticky. Let's go see. Better go test them out on public roads. All right, give it some full lock left and right, really slow, just to see if we have any stupid rubbing.
What do you think about that?
Uncle Alex is silly sometimes. And those are pretty sticky. gonna break your door sill over here if you keep throwing me at it. Just like from a full stop, give it 100% lock and just creep to see if you hear any rubbing. Heard any rubbing at all? No, me either. I think we're good. Back to base.
Hey, these are sticky.
Is that sticky?
I can tell the difference.
Yeah, I would fucking hope so. Hey, that's a blackbird. It's gonna run soon.
There's a big difference. A big difference.
Those are immediately sticky. Weird.
Yes, they are.
Weird. Cross that off the fucking list. The GTI has more gat under the fenders, as the kids say. It's got some beef on race day. I don't know if I need to look out just yet, but you're getting there.
I don't know. Maybe not yet.
In the humblest way possible, the Miata is not playing the same game as the CRZ and the GTI. Like, not even a little bit. It performs at the top of its class for no reason. And when there's not enough people in classes, it gets put into one combined class.
I'm getting screwed.
So basically, they're getting screwed by getting thrown into the combined class, which has a lot of other things combined in that just they can't be competitive with.
It would be nice to be able to run with only people in my own class. But I get stuck with people that are...
There's just not enough. There's nobody running SM here locally. STR is pushing it. I run STR, which is incredibly popular with Miatas and S2000s elsewhere, but unfortunately we're in Minnesota where nobody owns those. I get thrown in combined every once in a while too. All three cars are much more prepared for this weekend than they were the last one. It's gonna be a good time, and I hope you join us for it. Feel free to subscribe. If you really like to, for just a few cents a day, you can help us do whatever the fuck it is we do around here. That gives you early access to the videos, exclusive members only, like behind the scenes type stuff, and permanent discount at redhenracing.com. Feel free to check that out if it suits you, but otherwise just to subscribe is fine. It's gonna be a good race day. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Hey.